The following is a presentation of the Eagles Sports Network.
Carson-Newman wins it 108-64 here today, joined by Mike Mincey. I'm Michael Watrang. And, Coach, another game and another quality start, 7-0 and 15-4. What has it been about your group that you've been able to start so well, it seems like, especially here at home?
Well, I mean, we always talk about being able to score. It starts – obviously people can talk about defense, but it starts by scoring, and then when you score, you can get into your press, and then it takes I think it takes some teams some time, to kind of get used to it, and because the pressure is a little bit different, obviously, when you carry it into the front court. But I mean, they're in this gym a lot shooting, that, and I like the way we've gotten started. Some of the starts we've gotten has probably propelled us to a victory, because there's always that lull too, which I don't like, but we did okay. We did much better this game than we did before the break against LR when we gave up that 9-0 run at the end of the first quarter. We didn't give that up, carried a double-figure lead going into the second quarter, so it was good to see.
10 blocks in this game, first time in a couple seasons. You rack up double-digit blocks. You get 14 steals, 21 offensive rebounds. What do you think of the team's hustle today?
I mean, I like it. They were ready to play. We talked about it pregame that they were excited to play against somebody else, and it's hard for us to play against each other. They know each other so well, and we're playing the same way, and so a lot of times we just blow right through our press, and it kind of makes me frustrated because we can't get anything done, and then when we get against opponents, it's much better. But the blocks, we always preach to stay on the ground and not go up and block, and I felt like sometimes we were getting beaten, and then we had to block from behind, whatever, and that's great. They made plays out of it. So, I mean, the 10 blocks are fine. We're not trying to be a shot-blocking team, but certainly Kayla Marisites in particular and Bree, they've shown the ability to block shots. Obviously, Micah and Jekka have long arms, and they're able to do it without drawing fouls.
Michael Wesser, 20 points in the first half, 27 overall in the game. She also gets rebounds, assists, blocks, does a little bit of everything for you. Another game in double figures. What do you think of her performance today?
I mean, she obviously in the first half, she carried us. You scored 56 points, and she scored 20 of them. But, you can see it. She just scores in a variety of ways. It's a player unlike any we've really had. That can step out and score from all kinds of ways. I mean, sometimes we post her up. Sometimes she shoots trailing threes. Sometimes she goes off the bounce because she's such a good ball handler. And it was good to see her scoring, because I think her scoring opens up areas for other people, and that's how you can get 56 points on the board and a 24-point halftime lead. And, of course, coming in the second half, she didn't need to do as much. She only scored a 7 there, but she didn't get to play much of the second half either, and it was a good opportunity to get these other kids in and give them a chance to play.
You get the victory defensively overall, maybe your most consistent performance in terms of opponent's field goal percentage in this game. Why were you so effective defending their players for 40 minutes?
Well, I don't know how great the defense is per se. I mean, we try to, we've talked about it a lot. We're not trying to just let people score. That's not our system at all. We're trying to stop them every single possession, but the style leads into quicker shots, maybe rush shots sometimes when you're trapping there in the front court. They're just trying to get the ball off and to shoot it before, maybe it gets stolen or a hand on it, whatever. So I think that has something to do with it. Then I also think that their legs are gone a little bit if you're not used to playing that particular way, and I think that affects your shooting touch some. So all those things, I wouldn't say we're just a lockdown defensive team. I think the style helps us out in terms of our defensive prowess.
You look to the future, and your next 5 games, 3 of which are at home, all challenging. You get Catawba, Tusculum, Wingate, Lincoln Memorial, and Newberry here over the next 5. You do get a week off before you hit the hardwood again. Seeing this next 5-game stretch, what do you say to your team to make sure that they are focused, that this is probably a really critical sequence for you?
I mean, I think they know. This is one of those teams that they understand. First of all, they understand the bullseye that's on their back. The longer this thing goes, but they also know what's at stake. They understand. We've educated them on regional rankings and NCAA tournaments and all that kind of stuff. And we don't want to get ahead of ourselves, but they know that each and every game that we step on the floor, because now they're all going to be conference games, are really important to achieve some of the goals that we set out to achieve. And so we're going to try to not put too much pressure on them. The goal is never to try to go undefeated or win every game. The goal is to try to continue to get better throughout the year. And if you go undefeated, you go undefeated. But that's a very tall task for any team to achieve. We just got to make sure that, first and foremost, we hold serve at home. I like how we play at home. Obviously, we scored the ball very well. So they know what's ahead of them. I don't think they're looking ahead, though. We know we have a week off, and then we play Catawba next Saturday, and that's as far as we've basically taken it.
Coach, thanks for the time. Congrats on the win.
Thank you, Michael.
He's Mike Mincey as Carson-Newman wins it by a final score of 108-64.